Hello and Happy New Year. I thought I'd show you something that someone pointed out on the HB forums, that Casios can solve for the limits of an integral. I'll show you on the latest 991 here. You do have to switch modes for solving now. There is also a catalogue on the latest models. So this is the equation. Once solved between 0 and an unknown, equals 8/3. Right. Let's give it a guess of 0.5. And yeah, it's pretty quick at solving that. Comes to 2. So the question came up really, well, can it be done on earlier Casios? So this is the ES. There is the EX series, which I don't have. This one doesn't need you to switch modes in order to solve. But as you might have spotted already, we run into a bit of a problem because we're using X for 2 different reasons here, and really I don't think you should, it's probably not the right way to write this equation, is it? So if you try and solve for this, shift solve for X, it just comes up with syntax error. And then if you try and change this to a Y, for example, I gotta solve for that. It just asks you what Y is rather than letting you solve for it, and it will still ask you to solve for X. So that doesn't work. I believe it works on the EX series and the CW, but not the ES, which came before that, or the MS series. But here's the DM15L, which is based on the HB15C. I'll show you how you do it on this one, because it's quite interesting. And this is technology that's basically 50 years old now, so it's quite impressive that you can achieve it on this. So what you need to do, you need to do 2 programs basically. One program which is the function for your integration, and another program which is essentially the procedure for your solving. So let's switch to programming mode. Label A, shift label A, and then this program is going to be, what function are you integrating? Well, imagine you've got X already on your display. You're just going to square it, so that's all it is, and we're going to return from that. That's it, pretty simple, essentially just one line. And then you're going to make a second program, let's call it label B, and this is going to be your integration. So again, you imagine that you've got X there available. So you're going to integrate from 0 to X. I'm going to put in 0, and I'm going to swap them round. So that will put 0 in the Y register, X in the X register, and I'm going to ask it to integrate the program that we had before. And because you have to rearrange it so that everything equals 0, we're going to put in 8, 3, divide that and subtract it, and that will equal 0, and we're going to return out of that. Let's get out to programming mode, give it a guess of 0.5, and shift solve, and I'm going to solve for program B. I'm going to let that run. Now it takes quite a while. It would have taken a lot longer on the original one. This one takes just, well, it must be just a few seconds really. Let's give it a guess of 0. Yeah, just literally a few seconds. I think this processor must be pretty quick. This one is still going. Oh, there we go. We're done actually. There we are, 2. 2 and 2. This one gives an exact value of 2. I don't know exactly. I'm sure there are some shenanigans, because Casio does do a bit of rounding of numbers. I do know that. This won't be exactly 2. So if you... Yeah, so it's basically 2.000095. Yeah, but still really impressive that this machine with 50-year-old software, or nearly 50-year-old software, can do this. And that they made these functions so modular, you know, that you can just that you can compound them together. Is that the right word? Might not be the right word, but essentially you can sort of plumb these different functions into each other, and they made sure that it was capable of doing that. Most calculators are like this one. It will just throw an error up if you try and do two different things that it assumes are two kind of separate modes solving integration. They're different things. Yeah, and that's it really. The other thing is you can also set your accuracy as well. So that's one thing that's quite cool about these calculators. And you can try and push it up. So I was on fix 4 there. If I push it up to fix 6, it will try and ensure that you've got 6 decimal points of accuracy. But it can end up taking a lot longer then. Okay, that's all. Bye.